to the UK, where there's been a major shake-up overnight to the upcoming election. Former Brexit leader Nigel Farage has called for a political revolt, announcing he will stand as the Reform UK party leader. Have a look.
So I'm coming back as leader of Reform UK, but not just for this election campaign. I'm coming back for the next 5 years. And there is one very simple reason for that. We all know already that the Conservative Party will be in opposition. But it won't be the opposition. They are incapable of it. They've spent most of the last 5 years fighting each other rather than standing up and fighting for the interests of this country.
Joining me to discuss this is former Brexit Party member Alex Phillips. Alex, you've worked with Nigel before. This announcement caught most people by surprise. What did you make of it?
I was less surprised, although I was still a bit surprised. I mean, I've worked with Nigel a long time. I was his right-hand woman for many years before being elected myself. And actually, the day before he announced he wasn't going to stand, we had lunch together and we were going through all the reasons why not. And I think he said he's got one more roll of the dice and he has to know he's going to get there. It has to be the right time. And so he said, I'm not going to stand, but go around the country touring nationally to help the party. That's how I'm best used in a snap election campaign where there's not really much time to move the needle. And being bogged down in a constituency could be very disadvantageous. But something's happened over the weekend, and I guessed it was coming because I was going to stand in Clacton. Then all of a sudden, everything seemed to go a bit shaky. And then when he announced, I thought, there you go, that's why. I think he's just been around the country talking to people and realises the need in the country for something different. So many of the population here do not want either legacy party. And while it's so different, they're so difficult to actually get elected in a first-past-the-post system as we have in the UK as a smaller party, I think he really felt he's got to put his money where his mouth is. He's did it before. He really probably doesn't have anything to lose. I think he will win.
Now, no one's expecting Reform to win government. Labor are expected to win quite easily. But Nigel Farage is saying that he wants to be the main opposition party in place after the election. He stood to be an MP 7 times without success. So what chance does he have to win a seat for himself, let alone become the major opposition party in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, so what's interesting here, yes, he stood 7 times without success, but is one of the most influential politicians in British history in its entirety. So it's a fact that the mainstream media over here loves playing with. But he's been an incredible, influential politician, hasn't needed to be elected to do that, and actually knew most of the times he was going to stand that there was no chance of being elected, but did it because it's the right thing to do. He's a courageous man. But, the times that Farage-led entities have been very successful before in terms of popularity in polling. So I'm thinking about the 2019 snap election, the 2015 general election. Both of those times you had a strong Conservative Party still. And the only difference was the Conservative Party would start pivoting to shadow box, basically, any policy announcement that Nigel was making. They've started that again already. And then when people go to the polling station, they think, well, I've got to vote one of the legacy parties. It's a binary choice. And so in many respects, Nigel's almost helped them get the majorities they've had. This time it's different. The Conservatives have been in government for 3 terms. They have very ostensibly failed to deliver on any of those promises. When they've covered off the threats from Nigel Farage to the right wing, voters have believed them. This time round, that is just not happening. People are fed up. There's no chance the Conservatives are going to win this election in the next 5 weeks. But this is the thing. Voters need to understand that. So Nigel's line has very much been where the Conservatives say, oh, well, if you vote Reform, you'll get a Labour government. His line is, you're getting a Labour government anyway. Why not vote for something different that you genuinely believe in?
Alex, before I let you go, I've got to show you this. Australian actress and model Holly Valance has pledged her support for Nigel Farage. Take a look at her reaction to his announcement.
This is exactly what we all wanted. He gave the people what they asked for. Right move.
Before I let you go, is she right?
She is, she's quietly been a big supporter of Nigel's for quite some time because she's a sensible woman with common sense ideas of how countries should be run. And, having her backing is just wonderful. And there are many people around Britain who echo her sentiment. And now it's given hope to millions. There's something different on offer.